welcome to the Counterattack playthrough series. We're continuing our campaign scenario of Empire of the Sun. This is part 2 of turn 4. It's the Allies' turn to play a card, and I think they're going to play their future offensive card that they had held from last turn. Let's check out what it is. It is Halsey replaces Gormley. So the reason I'm playing this is, one, it's sort of a free card. But we get to replace the Southwest headquarters here, which is a 20... Oops, the South headquarters, sorry, this one, which is a 7-1 with a 10-3, so it improves the headquarters. And then the logistics value is 4, so 4 plus 3 is going to be 7 units, that's cool. And yeah, and then we'll remove this card from the game. So go ahead and replace that headquarters and figure out what we want to do. Now I do need to capture I think 3 locations, if I recall, for making progress of war. But I think I'm okay battering against Rabaul somewhere. So I think we're probably going to do an offensive with those 7 points against Rabaul. Now, one interesting thing about this card is I get to activate 7 units, but it's only a 1-ops card. So that means naval units can only go 5 spaces, aircraft can only do 1 hop. And it also means if the Japanese detect the offensive, and that would be on a 40% chance if they don't go through, if the Allies don't go through a zone of influence anyway, they would only get 1 unit plus whatever the activating headquarters is. So this might be a good chance to, at a minimum, just obliterate the defenses here, maybe bombard the Marine unit there in preparation for an invasion. I lost a I think it was a Marine unit in the last assault. That was dumb. This guy, he's not. I mean, we'd have to have they'd have to roll really poorly. They'd have to roll really well for anything to happen. So I think we're not going to try to bring in a ground unit. We have this guy over here, but he's out of range. But I want to try to get him in range. Let's say if we're going to play another 1-op later. So we're going to activate this guy for. We'll just do a transfer. So from port to port. As long as it doesn't go through enemy zone of influence, I can double the distance it can go, so that would be 10, and I can get it over to New Guinea or something. Yeah, so let's go ahead and activate. Yeah, let's activate these carriers. 1, 2, 3. And then maybe we'll go pin a unit in the battle hex. I'm going to pick 1 battle hex most likely. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And yeah, let's get the North Carolina 5. And then yeah, go ahead and do this. And then we'll go 6. And oops, this Marine unit, it's a little weak. So 6, 7. Okay, movement. Now I'm thinking this guy, he can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 into lay there. But that would be going through an enemy zone of influence over here. So I should move some air units first, if I can even get them over there. I picked some guys with oh, well, yeah, these guys have some long range. So, yeah, this guy's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 to lay. And now all the zones of influence down here are canceled. And this guy can come cruise right on in. And I like air units on top. Okay, and then this guy will just hop 1 forward so we can be within short range. North Carolina is moving right in here. The carriers, they're going to hang out down south. There's only surface ships in port there, so they are safe. unless the Japanese manage to react. Okay, so what are the Japanese gonna do? Well, I think they're also gonna play their future offensives card. It's a counter-offensive. So it's going to convert this surprise attack to an intercept. They can activate any headquarters. The logistics value will be 5 if combined fleet headquarters. That's the one in Japan. It's too far. So it'll be 4. Their headquarters is an efficiency of 2, so it'll be 6 units they can activate. And then tactical wire intercepts. Allied carrier units have their defense values increased by 2 for the duration of the offensive. Okay, so it's going to be harder to harm U.S. carriers, so we'll consider that. This card will be removed from play, but I'm just going to set it off to the side for now. Okay, so the Japanese get 5 units, South Sea, because we're doing South Seas Fleet here, or South Seas Headquarters. And we have to pick Army or Navy. We'll pick Navy because of the inter-service rivalry. And I think we're, this might be dumb, but I think we're going to just pick 5 units from within here. Here's all the Navy. That guy would be at long range. He can't get any closer. I guess he can fly into the battle hex to get more strength. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll do a long range hop. So 1, 2, 3. Well, let's just activate him first. So we'll activate that guy. Then I have to activate 4 more guys. This guy's an attack of 9, attack of 8, attack of 7, attack of 8. Okay, there's our 5 guys. Trying to maximize the damage we can do here. Okay, movement. They only get 1 hop, the aircraft. This guy currently could participate in the battle, but at half strength in terms of attack strength. We're going to send him into the battle. And then these carriers will just, the Japanese, their carriers have 1 extra distance of range from the Americans, so they're just going to hover out here. Yeah, they're all carriers. Okay. And then, of course, there are already some units in Rabaul, so sort of magnifies the number of logistics points or whatever. Now, additionally, I think this is probably the time to play it. I'm thinking the Japanese are going to spend this card as well. So it's Submarine Attack. It's a reaction card. It says play during an offensive. Well, it's during an offensive right now. And then it says at the end of all combat against any active allied naval units, or if there are no battle hexes, I can pick a naval unit, roll a die, and the Japanese can eliminate 1 or 2 enemy units, their choice. Looks like rules for eliminating units are sort of lifted, and then they can draw a card. So this is like a nice free attack with a good chance of inflicting serious losses. They will target the carriers when the time comes. Okay, I'm gonna spread all this stuff out so we can see the numbers. Let's roll for combat effectiveness. Let's see, the Japanese got a natural 9, nice. Someone pointed out in my comments of the video on YouTube, definitely please read the comments because there's a lot of good stuff that I don't necessarily mention. But I missed a 9 last video apparently, but a 9 is going to inflict a critical hit, so the Japanese are going to get some major damage this turn. And then 8, of course, is good as well. Let's see, so modifiers, looks like there's no modifiers for this battle since it's been converted to an intercept. So a 9 is going to do 100% and an 8 is going to do 100% combat effectiveness. Forgot to spread these guys out here, the ones in Rabaul. My calculations, 60 attack strength for the Allies, 55 for the Japanese. Let's go ahead and do the Allies first. First, can I harm the carriers up here? Well, obviously I have to damage every unit before I can start destroying units, but also since the carriers are remote, I have to have for each one I want to hit, there's 4. I would have to have 4 air-capable units in the battle, and I have 5, so I can hit all of them. But at most, I can do 5 hits up there. And that's all I need, though. So Let's see what we can do here. We got 60. Well, I want to damage some things first. So we'll damage the Tenryuru for 8. And then this air unit for 10. So that leaves, I gotta be careful, I make mistakes all the time. That leaves 42 points. Then we'll knock that down to 34 to damage the Junyo. And this is exactly what I wanted as the allies. From 34 to 22, destroy the Shokaku. I'm just gonna set the dead bodies over here. We'll destroy the Akagi. It takes us down to 10. So I can't get this carrier. I think we'll get the Junyo is rebuildable. 10. Well, we'll go ahead and take out this air unit as well. Okay. Now for the Japanese 55 strength points, and a reminder they add 5 air-capable units in the battle, so they can do 5 hits on remote units, which again is all that's needed down here. Okay, so 55 points, plus they had a critical hit. What the critical hit allows is you can destroy a unit even though there are undamaged units in the battle. Well, we're going to apply that critical hit to the Enterprise, destroying it. That takes us down to 43. Yeah. We will damage the Wasp for 31. We'll damage the Lexington for, let's see, 21, 19. 19 left. I guess we have to do one of these air units. It's 9 left, and then unfortunately we're wasting 9 points. Oh, that's too bad. I probably could have allocated it a little different to do more damage, but I wanted to knock out the carriers. Remember, I have that sub card in play. I'm hoping to get 1 or 2 hits more. But yeah, so that wasn't as effective. Okay, we're going to do this submarine attack now that the battle is over. I want to roll a 7 or less. Got a 5. 5 is the allies lose 2 naval steps, Japanese choice. I'm going to put this on top of the Japanese deck to remind me they get to draw a strategy card. Well, 2 steps. Bam, bam. That worked out great. 3 carriers sunk by the Japanese. Wow. Okay, one more rule that I probably could have used in a prior turn, but whenever there are Japanese carrier units in a battle, and the allies did not get a critical hit, which they did not, the Japanese can transfer a hit from one carrier to another. The idea is they have good range or something, so they can transfer their planes maybe. I'm not 100% sure. So this works out good because this Junyo aircraft carrier is rebuildable. Not that the Japanese get a lot of replacements, but so I think what we'll do is we're going to transfer the hit the Shokaku took to the Junyo. Alright, so that saves a nice ship. Yeah, so that was brutal. Okay, let's figure out who won the battle. Looks like 28 for the Japanese against 23 for the Allies, so the Japanese won the battle. Doesn't really matter, there's no amphibious assault or anything like that going on. Yeah, so let's move the reaction units back. I think I want these guys to stay in Rabaul. And then these 2 remaining carriers, so Japanese are running short on ships. We'll go back to truck. And then the Allies, this aircraft will just hang in place. This aircraft and army unit will stay there. Carolina will come back to Guadalcanal. And let's see here. Akagi removed from the game. Junio in this air unit theoretically could be rebuilt, so I'll set him in my sort of eligible to be rebuilt pile. Same with all these carriers. I think I have to process something special for US carrier losses. Okay, it's not as bad as I thought, but obviously it's horrible that the US just lost all their carriers. But at the end of the turn, if the US are out of carriers, they lose a political will point. Also, if they lose a division or corps anytime during the turn, at the end of the turn they lose a political will point. Now, they did not lose a division the beginning of the turn. That was a brigade, so I got to be careful just throwing my troops away. But this was horrible. Obviously, as the playing solo, I knew the Japanese had a reaction card, but playing as the Allies, I try to put everything out of my mind about what the other side has, and so I would have played it that way. That was dumb. But yeah, it's bloody Solomon Island campaign. I almost forgot. The Japanese event said the Allies have tactical wire intercepts. The carriers have 2 extra defense. But I think things will work out okay. I'm just going to put the carriers back sort of roughly how they were. I don't know. I think it was like this, right? Now remember, the Japanese had 9 wasted strength points, so I think it's still going to work out. So yeah, that's right. So they destroyed this. That'd be two points taken away from the 9 wasted. So they'd have 7 left over. 2 points to damage this. 5 left over. 2 points to damage this. 3 left over. Okay, and then the submarine took them out. So yeah, we're still good, but I almost missed that. Japanese are drawing a card. Ooh, convoy escort fleet. Not only is this a offensive, which they could use, they get some escorts to protect against the submarine warfare, which is good, because they've already lost one of their 7 ASP. That's their second card draw for the turn. You can only get 3 total, so I don't know. I forget if there's another one possible. Okay, Japanese turn. They're getting low on cards. I mean, they got 5 cards. The Allies have 6, I believe. But some of these are like tough ones, like, oh, I want to play the events on the war in Europe, but there are 3 ops, I might need them. So I think they're going to take their 1 pass, so they pass. Okay, the Allies need to put some pressure up in Southern Asia here, since the US have had a devastating loss in the Solomons. We need to draw the Japanese attention away. Plus, there's not a lot of Japanese forces in the area. Their army units are strong, especially that one in there, but they're not really in good positions. So I have to decide what kind of card I want to play as the Allies. I could attack right now, try to eliminate this unit and sort of get a little better position moving down towards sort of the Southeast Asian peninsula. Or I can position units to try to get an even better attack next turn. And I could also go for sort of a high-risk situation where, I don't know, I try to land units via Amphibious Assault down like on the coast without actually attacking anyone. I think the latter is not a good idea. Okay, I think I'm going to do a sort of repositioning offensive. So we're going to launch Operation Tarzan, any headquarters, logistics 4. I can only activate ground and air units. Then 1 must be Chinese. So, logistics 4, can activate the Southeast Asia Command headquarters, which is an efficiency of 1, so that's 5. All these guys are in its range. So I think we're going to activate this Chinese unit for the 1 Chinese unit. Might be more. So we're going to activate these 2 units in Dhaka. They're both infantry. Let's see, we got 3 out of 4. I think we're going to activate these 2 units here as well. Okay, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Going to move So this guy's going to use the transit line here, 1, 2, 3, 4. It was a 2 ops card, so he gets 2 movement points, and transit lines are half a movement point. He's going to cruise right in here with his fellow Chinese unit. I think we'll have this 12-12 just sort of back off here, and this 3-5 join the Chinese units. Yeah, I think that's fine. And then we're going to ship these guys in to Rangoon. I can do this because this air unit is projecting a zone of influence that cancels out this guy from blocking the approaches to the port. There's no battle hexes, which means the Japanese can't react. So I'll go ahead and straighten all these guys out, and we'll call that the end of the offensive. Now, even though the Japanese had a major naval victory in Solomon Islands, they're really hard pressed. They still need to take out Java, but Chilachap, which I heard is how you pronounce it, has some serious infantry defenses, so I want them to whittle away a bit through attrition. So we're not going to assault Chilachap right now. I could also use a lot more airfields in New Guinea, also in parts of the Dutch East Indies, other parts of them. But this lone 10-12 is he's gonna succumb pretty quick. So I feel I should maybe try to stabilize a defense here, and knock Singapore out while we can. It's been sort of languishing there. It can free up some forces. So we're gonna do a army offensive, and we'll go to New. This is like a great event. I just don't see being able to use it right now. All the targets have to be 1 hex islands. Yeah, unfortunately. So we're gonna just use it as a 3 ops. I feel like I'm being silly doing that, but that's what we're doing. So 3 ops. Logistics value of South headquarters is 1, so we're gonna activate 4 units. And those units, they're gonna be this guy here. This guy just outside of Singapore in Kuantan. This strong infantry unit here. And then, let's see, what's the defenses of Singapore? They're pretty tough, but having an air unit isn't going to really help with that. So I think we're going to activate someone. We'll activate this guy in Manila. Movement. So it was a 3 ops. What's it cost to move into a jungle? That's 2 movement points. So I have 3 movement points for all my units. This guy's going to spend 2 of his movement points to come back into this jungle. Jungle's better defensive terrain. The railroad doesn't exist until they build the bridge over the River Kwai. Okay, so he's pulling back because there's just so much force here. He can be obliterated. And then this guy is going to spend half a movement point to get to Beng, or just this coastal area along the railroad, and spend 2 to get in here. So I spent 2.5. So now we got a nice 24 defense in a jungle. Jungle's better than the mixed terrain. Of course, the Allies can probably squeeze through here, so I gotta be careful. I think British units are allowed to enter these areas, so I'm kind of in trouble here. So this guy's going to do a port-to-port transfer. Go to Hanoi here. And then finally, the 38th Infantry Army. 4X is an army, I think. Assaulting Singapore. I'm declaring that as my 1 battle hex. Now the Allies don't have any reaction cards, but they might as well see if they can detect this. Oct value is 5, so 60% chance of detection. We got a 0, so that is a detection. And so now it's no longer a surprise attack, but surprise attacks don't matter for land. I'm not sure there's anything that could happen, but we have to react to the battle hex. There's nothing around here that can possibly help out. No. Yeah. All right. Let's do the Battle of Singapore. The Australians have to hope for a really poor die roll on the Japanese part. And it didn't happen. Wow, they both got 9. So 9 in ground combat. That's multiplied by 2. Okay, so let's do the attacking player first. There's no air or naval units in the battle. The defender is in mixed, I think. Yeah, mixed terrain. So that's -2 to the die roll. Oh, okay. So now it's only 1.5. Yeah. So they're 1.5 effectiveness. So yeah, that's more than enough to destroy the Australians. The Australians are at 3 combat strength, and yeah, there's no bonuses they can use. So Singapore has fallen. The Australians and the Malaya headquarters are removed from the game because they're yellow dot units. The Japanese have taken control of Singapore. I believe that triggers the conquest of Malaya. I think that's at near the end of the turn, so we'll go ahead and put a marker in there for now, and then once that conquest is processed, we will probably remove all the markers from Malaya, and then we'll just finish up the offensive. All right, finally got that thorn out of our side. Okay, allied turn. Let me just tell you about something I was planning on doing and I can't. This was sort of my ace in the hole as the allies, so I want to make progress of war. I need to capture 3 named locations. And this card is pretty cool. Logistics value 3, which isn't that high, but bonus, if ground units are landed on an unoccupied 1-hex island prior to any reaction, place an allied control marker on all adjacent unoccupied 1-hex islands. So I can grab a whole bunch of islands if they're near each other before the Japanese can even react. So the problem is, well, what I was planning on doing, the only really appropriate spot for this is right here in the Marshall Islands. So if I could take Malawalap, I can immediately conquer Namu, Jaluit, Mili, and Wotje. So I would have progress of war. The problem is, this air unit is projecting a zone of influence around here, and to do an amphibious assault into a zone of influence, you have to have an escort, a naval escort, and all my infantry in the region, like for example this special forces unit here, this guy down here, what is it, a marine unit, and then there's someone in Hawaii, I believe. There's no ships with them. All the ships are dying. All the ships are in Guadalcanal. So they can't do it. So, but I like that's really my only chance at getting 3 named locations. So I think I'm going to play this really nice card, but it requires a Philippine Island hex to be a battle hex. So I'm just going to play a 3-ops to sort of position myself to be able to do that. And the way I would position myself to do that is to destroy the 24th Air Flotilla, whatever it is. We're going to activate South Pacific. That was a 3-ops card. 3 efficiency, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, so it's in range. So let's activate 6 units, possibly sending them to their death. Well, air units are going to get 3 hops, but yeah, let's do this. Long range bomber unit here. Are there any in here? Oh yeah, there's several. Could I do this with just bomber units? I only have 3 US naval units left. The Allies would lose a point at the end of the turn if they had no naval units left, so maybe I should keep them around. Yeah. So that's 3 out of 6. Let's see what we got down here. I think there's a long range unit, yeah. 4 out of 6. Okay, we can do 2 more. Yeah, I want this to be a sure thing, so we're gonna activate 2 naval units. We're going to activate the North Carolina and the Northampton. We'll see what I do with that Northampton in a second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Okay, movement. The Northampton. This might be a little gamey, but maybe it's politics. Northampton's going to run down to Viti, which is just outside of the South Seas Fleet range. And if every U.S. naval ship except this one gets destroyed, I avoid losing a political will point. Yeah, that's gamey. But yeah, so that was a port-to-port transfer situation. Let's see if we can get these air units up there. From Espiritu Santo, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to Funafuti. Get 3 hops. Definitely going to be able to get there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we'll go to Tarawa. It's interesting. I'm pretty sure the Allies had to invade Tarawa, so the Japanese are way behind schedule here. Okay, this long-range bomber in New Georgia. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2. Yeah, so it'll go to Tarawa as well. There's one more in here, or a couple more. One more will go to Tarawa. One will go to Nauru. They're all in range of Kwajalein, which is going to be the battle hex. And then the North Carolina is just going to cruise right up into Kwajalein. Okay. We definitely sailed through an enemy zone of influence, which makes me wonder, maybe I shouldn't be bringing this battleship in. Let's take a look at the intelligence situation. It was an AUK, so there's a 40% chance of detection. I'm going to send it up to 60% chance if that battleship goes through the enemy zone of influence. I want to be able to destroy this unit. It's got 20 defense. I'm barely bringing in 16 with the air units. The battleship brings it up to 24. Ooh, but if the Japanese react in, they could cause even more damage. So what do I want to do? Do I want to take a gamble that the Japanese won't have a 40% chance? But yeah, I can't destroy that Japanese unit unless there's really great rolls. Is that true? No, dude, I can't even destroy it. I need the battleship. So, yeah, we'll see how it goes. Japanese, of course, are going to try to intercept this. They rolled a 7. Oh, I think I lucked out. So the AUK value was a 3. It goes up, my way of thinking of it, +2. Takes it to a 5 by rolling through the zone of influence. But yeah, so they did not detect it. It's a surprise attack. Well, a rare surprise attack. Let's roll for some combat effectiveness. Pretty effective. Got a critical hit there. Oop. Probably like to see that. So everyone's fighting at 100% effectiveness. We'll do the Allies first. Well, since it's a surprise attack, they definitely go first. It's 12 in long-range bombers. 8 for the battleship. That's 20. That's just enough to destroy this Japanese unit. But the Japanese have 10. Now, I'm pretty sure they can't fight back, but I just want to see if critical hit maybe gives them a little bonus. Okay, my reading is, yeah, they were destroyed via the surprise attack. The critical hit, they don't have a chance to use it. Destroyed. All right, wow, the Allies managed to do something good. So this area's been wiped out. And, yeah, I think I'm going to send everyone back to the bases they came from. Is that true? Well, let's back off and see. North Carolina, we'll come back down to Guadalcanal. We'll send 3 of the long-range bombers back to Guadalcanal. And then the other one to New Georgia. Yeah, New Georgia. One of them had come from Espiritu Santo, but now it's over in New Georgia. And then this guy over here, he's hiding in Viti. Now, this is one of those quandaries of when you're playing solo, like, I know what's coming, right? The Allies want to take over all these places with a special card. So the Japanese player have to think, how would I think about that? Would I think, do they have that special card? Did I memorize all the cards and are they going to play it? Or was that just a raid trying to take out an aircraft? Well, I don't know. I think if I was playing the Japanese and someone else is playing the Allies, I would think that was probably just a raid, but maybe they were planning on landing over there at some point. But looking at my cards, I think I probably would want to prepare in Southeast Asia. So we're going to play this card. It's Sabas Chandra Bose. He's a pro-Japanese Indian Army person. The Japanese are going to get 2 ground replacements for any units within 3 hexes of Rangoon, which they have some. This card will get removed from play. So it's one of those rare cases where the Japanese get replacements. So the 2 replacements within 3 hexes of Rangoon will be this guy. Whoa, 2012. Yeah, it's probably good. This guy. Okay. I think the balance of power has been reset in Southeast Asia. Okay, we all know what's coming here. The Woodlark Island operation, except we're going to call it the Maloelap operation. Logistics value 3. Plus 3 for South Pacific headquarters, so 6 units. Okay, let's do this. Where is my Special Forces unit? It's going to be unit number 1. We're going to activate this unit over here in Nagini. Let's get this guy on camera. It's 2 units. There's a whole bunch of bomber units in here. 3, 4, 5. And then I have a 6th unit. So do I want to move some infantry, or do I want another air unit? So just so you know, I'm planning on capturing all these with a quick raid by some special forces. And then at the same time having a battle hex here where I think the best I can do is try to take out the Tenyiru. That battleship's at 14, so that'd be 10. I could probably take out the battleship. Possibly even the Tenyiru, so let's see, that's 10, that's 18, 22. So I can get another plane in for 26, which is enough to take them out with good rolls. Or I could try to land an infantry unit, not Amphibious Assault, but just land right here. And then next turn, it could assault from the ground. And I think that's more important than taking out the ships. So we'll go ahead and activate this Marine unit down in Espiritu Santo. Ah, it's not with a ship. Oh wait, there's no aircraft there. Yeah, I was going to say it's not with a ship, so it can't move through that area, but there's no aircraft. Okay, time to move. So I need to spend 2 amphibious shipping points. The Allies have a total of 3 right now, so that takes it down to 1. This guy's cruising right on in. He's just going to amphibious assault the empty coastline, so it's not a battle hex. Special Forces, they are amphibious assaulting Maloelap up there. But there's no enemy unit there, and there's a special circumstance, right? Okay, so these long-range bombers, they're all in range of this location. This guy's in range of that location. I'm going to declare 1 battle hex right here. I think the Japanese might be able to react to this, but before reaction, the Americans are going to take all 5 of these places. Oops. And I'll tidy that up momentarily. So, man, that's a powerful card. I got Progress of War instantly. Of course, the Japanese could take things back, but I doubt they're going to get 5 places. So yeah, let's see what happens with the Japanese. Okay, the Japanese have no reaction cards, so the EC intelligence level is 4. That's a 50% chance. Roll to 0. Okay, so they've intercepted. It's not a surprise attack. They're going to activate South Seas headquarters. It's a 2 ops card. That's 4 units to activate. Definitely want to get a unit over here to foil this Amphibious Assault. I think it would actually probably destroy it. I'll have to double check the rule on that. This down here is not a battle hex, so they can't get there. By the way, these are both battle hexes here. But this one, well, actually that's not a battle hex, is it? There's no battle. Same with here. I'm going to double check that, but I think there's only 1 battle hex, and so this is the only place it can react to. Okay, so if enemy units, enemy ships entered this area, this guy would take a step loss and get turned back. Okay, so he wouldn't be destroyed. Also, do I have to declare these battle hexes? My interpretation of the rules is no. You only have to declare battle hexes where both sides have units. So I think it's safe. You can conduct amphibious assaults unopposed as long as there's no enemy units in the place and you don't declare it a battle hex. So that means Rabaul is the battle hex. And the Japanese can try to foil this attack here by the aircraft, possibly doing a lot of damage. I did consider, like, I'm okay having these air units damaged. The Allies get 5 air replacements each turn. I don't want to, like, just waste air units, but, you know, I'm in a way, I'm wasting them by not letting them get damaged. So I'm gonna let them get some damage. And I guess I just realized, since this is not a battle hex, Japanese can't stop that from happening. Definitely comment if I'm interpreting these rules wrong, but I think it's consistent with what some other people said in the comments, so I'm going with it. So yeah, let's activate. Well, these guys are already part of the battle, so let's activate 4 units to try to destroy all these aircraft. Well, I think the Japanese might sacrifice some ships to just really impact the Allies. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So Davao on the island of Mindanao is in range. That's a 2 op. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They can't quite get to Rabaul. I should have remembered that. Okay, so what do we got in here? I don't want to lose aircraft, but I also don't want to lose carriers. Right? Like, in a way, this is the Allies trying to tempt my carriers into the battle. I think we'll just risk some more ships here. And then can any aircraft get in there? I mean, they could. It's a nice juicy 20 aircraft. We can hop here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We can hop there. I think we're going to activate Congo and Nagato, but they're not going to go to the battle. Okay, Japanese reaction move. The Kamikaze and the Aoba, probably sacrificing themselves, but they're coming right down in there. The Nagato and the Congo are transferring over to here. So now let's go process. What is this, the 4th, the 5th Battle of Rabaul. Here we have all the units. Let's do some effectiveness checks. Not so hot for the Japanese. Okay, so this is an intercept. The Dower modifiers, there aren't any. Looks like the Allies are attacking at 100%. The Japanese are attacking at 1/4. Ooh, not so hot. And yeah, that's a 2. The Allies have 10 plus 4 times 3, so 22. The Japanese, looks like 19 plus 4 is 23. Oh, so the Japanese do have slightly more strength in the area. But let's do the Allies first. So 22 to 23. I think the best choice is so as to not waste strength, is to take out the Hiei and the Kamikaze. That's 22 damage. Gone forever. Okay, and then the 23. Well, it's not going to matter a whole lot, but I guess this guy's got a good strength of 10, so that's... And then one of these bombers, 10, 3 wasted. The Allies won the battle because they have more strength left over. The reaction player is going to go back to where they came from. That's up here. We still have 6 ships stacked in truck. All these aircraft go back to where they came from. They can go wherever they want within range, but I want them going back where they came from. We've captured this little coastal hex. We're in good position there. We have captured the target. Oops. We've got a bunch of air bases and 1 port available to us. We might want to make use of that if we get some decent reinforcements. It's really clear to me the Japanese needed to grab a bunch of air bases here and get all their air, which is like up here, down around here. Okay, Japanese card play. They're going to play the first convoy escort fleet. So it's going to be, for the event, the Combined Fleet Headquarters, which is in Japan, has to be activated for this. Logistics value 2. And as a bonus, we're going to get to place convoy escorts. So that'll help defend against the Allied submarine attacks during the strategic warfare phase. So we'll go ahead and throw this guy on the turn track to remind us. In that logistics value 2, plus the Combined Headquarters value of 3, that's going to give us 5 units to activate. We do have inter-service rivalry. I think we're going to activate the army though. I want to get some land units down into New Guinea, because New Guinea is probably the next step in the Allied assault once Rabaul falls. Because of inter-service rivalry, my ASPs are cut in half. Those are amphibious shipping points. And since New Guinea is almost all Allied controlled, I will be doing amphibious assaults even if they're unopposed. So I have 6 ASPs, they're cut in half to 3 basically. So that basically means I can transport, I believe, 3 reduced armies. Let me make sure that's true, but I think that's true. I think each step of an army is 1 ASP. Yeah, that's true, with the one exception being this powerful army station in Korea. So let's go ahead and activate 5 units. So we're going to take this unit from Okinawa. Now I'm going to be denuding a lot of defenses of various spots in these islands out here. What I can do later is, if I need troops, is use this track here. That track represents all the troops in China. So I can start pulling troops out of China and bringing them into the islands. That makes it harder to do China offensives. It also makes it easier for the Allies to attack these coastal hexes in China, which have a intrinsic strength to them. I think they have the equivalent of 4 steps maybe. So those will slowly drain as I pull troops out of China to send them elsewhere. But anyway, so yeah, we're going to do this guy. And then I checked the range to the headquarters. And this guy in Tarakan, which is just sitting there doing nothing. The same one in Mindanao down here. Yeah, they're not being useful, so we'll get them into action. So that's 3. And I don't think I'm going to do any port-to-port transfers, so maybe I'll move 2 Army aircraft. Let's see if I can find some. There's some over here. Maybe you want to move these guys? Yeah, I think I want to move, let's see, Iwo Jima, that's close enough to home, I think, to be safe, hopefully. And the Special T Tainan fighter. Yeah, let's do these. So I know I talked about New Guinea, but I also want to bolster the area over here a little bit. Kwajalein a port. So that's going to be a source for future offensives, I imagine. This guy can leave here and go assault somewhere, so maybe I should put him under air cover, or put him under a zone of influence, and maybe put one of the army units that I activated here in Eniwetok to defend that port and airfield. So yeah, let's move this guy. He has an extended range of 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and yeah, and then let's see what we have here. So this unit here, the 19th Army, it can, let's see, that was a 3 ops card I played, so it can go 15. So it's just gonna cruise right on into here. That does not require an ASP to be spent because that's a port-to-port transfer, friendly ports. Let's get this guy down here too. Maybe we'll put him here in Ponape, sort of in between these two bases here. His extended range is 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. But he's just doing a base-to-base transfer, so I can double it. So gets it in the Ponape. Okay, we won't put any troops there. So let's go check out these other troops down in Philippines, Borneo. These guys, they are going to make an amphibious assault. So you can see over here, let me just twist this a little slightly. So there's 5th Air Force here. Exerts a zone of influence out to Wewak. So Wewak would be nice to take. Also out to Admiralty Islands. So I can't get there without naval escorts. So maybe we'll land here at Hollandia with this guy, an amphibious assault Hollandia. Get that port and airfield. And then, you know, Biak, I like Biak because it's an island, so allies can't just walk up here and walk right into it. It has to amphibious assault it. But there's a lot of forces building up in New Guinea, so maybe I should get another one of these onto the land. So maybe we'll take this Aitape airfield. Okay, and since there are no battle hexes, this is just a straight, like, unopposed amphibious assault and moves and things. We'll go ahead and finish it up. There's no reaction, so sort of doing the post-battle movement now. So we have Hollandia and Aitape, something like that. And I'll go ahead and mark all the other guys as completing their movement. Okay, and then this card says at the bottom, remove from play. Now that I'm doing Progress of War with the US, because it's turn 4, I think I should probably start using this marker on the strategic record track. So the US took 6 locations this turn when they did that Woodward Island card on Moleolap. So the Japanese just took 2 places back, so I'm going to go put this on the 4 spot. You know, maybe the Japanese can actually knock that Progress of War down even further. Because there's quite a few places that would be easy pickings. All right, who thinks it's time for a 6th offensive against Rabaul? I do. We're gonna use this card that would normally help the Chinese front. China's doing okay. So we're gonna use it as a 2 ops. Its OC value is 2, which is a 30% chance of detection. So yeah, 2 ops. We're gonna go ahead and activate South Pacific Headquarters. That'll give us 5 units. The most important unit is this Marine unit here, which can walk right up to Rabaul. So that's 1. I only have 2 ships down here, plus I'm hiding one down in Fiji. So I think we're going to try to do this only with air. And what do we got in here? So for sure these 2 guys will activate. We got 3 activated, 4 activated. And then, yeah, maybe we'll leave this damaged bomber. We'll use a damaged fighter bomber wing. Oh, what's this guy? 610, 510. Oh yeah, we'll do this Marine unit instead. Okay. The Japanese have no reaction cards, so they're going to see if they can roll a 2 or less. You got a 4, so finally a surprise attack. Of course, there's no air or naval to attack, so the surprise doesn't really matter, but there's no reaction. Well, you know, surprise attack does actually come into play with ground units, so we have to roll for the effectiveness of the attack. And there's a +3 modifier for a surprise attack, so it goes up to 10. So good roll. So we're going to be 100% effective, and so we'll go ahead and apply aircraft hits. So that's going to be 8, 12, 18. So 18 hits against ground units. This guy's 6, so he flips, and you cannot eliminate the last step. So. But good, yeah, so we really weaken this guy. Now let's do the combat effectiveness of the land unit. And I should say units, because surprise attack does not affect ground units. So the Japanese will get to roll as well. The Allies rolled a 3, the Japanese a 9. Let's see. So, offensive player, if they're the only player with air in the battle, they get +2, so that goes to a 5. Now, Rabaul is mixed terrain. That's a -2, so it goes back to 3. The defender, yeah, this looks like all the modifiers. So, the Japanese get a ×2 multiplier, so they are 4 attack or combat strength. And then the Americans are 100%, so 12 destroys 6, 2 does nothing to 12. Done. And land combat, there's no such thing as like a critical hit, only air naval. So this guy was destroyed, and I should have moved this guy in as part of the offensive. I think we all knew I was going to do that, just forgot to. Unfortunately, that's a Marine unit, it's eliminated from the game. We've freed Rabaul. And normally, like any occupied Japanese bases in this area in general that don't have troops on them would revert to the Allied control, but there aren't any. Okay, so let me think about post-battle movement. I think now that we have Rabaul, we should move some aircraft forward. I think this guy, he has a range of 6, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We'll come up to the Admiralty Islands. I wouldn't mind putting someone in WEWAC, except, you know, the Japanese can just walk right in and bump the aircraft out of there. So we won't go that far, but let's go ahead and throw these Marine units in with their fellow land Marines. This guy can go 6. You know, I kind of like having these bombers stacked near each other. This one, well, probably should have something back here. Maybe this guy will just jump to Rabaul as well. I don't know if I'm overextending my air here or leaving Guadalcanal vulnerable, but we shall see. By the way, progress of war was at 4. It's moving up to 5 because Allies just took Rabaul. Now, as you know, I'm a noob at this game. Make lots of mistakes, both rules-wise and strategically. So, just realized, now that the Allies have sort of pushed up to here, we got some zone of influence from these bombers here. They're covering IE, Top Bay, something like that. And yeah, I don't like that. And if they move forward a little more, they'll be covering Hollandia, and that would be pretty bad. So Hollandia has a port. So I haven't gone into like some of the nitty-gritty parts of the rules, but essentially you can trace short amounts of supply over land. So this guy normally would be able to be supplied by sea because he's on the coast, but now that he's got a ZOI over him, he can't. But he can trace over to here, to this port, and that port is safe. But the whole point of what I'm trying to make, though, is I moved a bunch of land units down there without any air support. That was bad. So we're going to have to remedy this. And that means we're going to have to put some air units in harm's way, unfortunately. So I'm going to go scrounge for air units. I'm pretty low on army air units. There's several in Southeast Asia. There's some in the Marshall Islands. So I'm going to try to dredge up some naval units. See what it can do. Okay, I found some. I'm really worried about putting them down in New Guinea where the Allied bombers can attack them. Not to mention, there's probably going to be some reinforcements coming too. Okay, so the Japanese have 2 of these cards. I was hoping to play both of them as events, but I kind of knew deep down I wouldn't be able to. So playing just one of them will be good. It'll knock the War in Europe track down to level 2. It's currently at level 1, which is better than 2 for the Allies. So we'll just play this as a 3-op. The OC value is 5, so that's 60% chance. Okay, so that was 3. I'm activating Combined Fleet, which is way up in Japan, and it can reach a bunch of stuff, so that'll be 6 units activated. I think we're going to activate the Ryujo. This naval unit here, naval unit, naval unit, naval unit. And also, there is a battleship underneath the headquarters up here, Yamato. Let's go ahead and activate that as well. And these are just going to be transfers of units. I don't want a battle hex that'll allow the allies to do stuff. So Yamato is definitely in range of Hollandia. It's going to slide right in there. I'll even put it as if it's done with the offensive. Okay, that's an 18 unit. That'll be a good defensive unit against air attacks. Need a lot of air units to do damage to that guy, and the allies are really hurting for ships. Okay, so also this guy doesn't have a yellow dot. His extended range is 5, so we'll throw him in here. I guess I'll put this flag down there so I can fit one more air or ground unit into Hollandia. And I think this guy is going to come down to, oops, can't do that yet. I was going to land him in Biak, but I can't. And Vogelkop doesn't have an airfield. So, okay, so we'll go ahead and fill up a top A as well. So we'll throw this guy down here. Oops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then this guy will go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down to a top A. And I'm just putting them back to the straight up orientation because they're not going to do post battle movement anywhere. This guy over here, he can hop over to here for 5, or it's only 4, but he has a range of 5. And then I guess he'll go to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to Ayatape as well. So we're throwing a lot of our eggs in one basket here, but trying to get a lot of firepower here to one, deter air attacks into this area, and if there are air attacks, to just be able to like wipe out all the allied air. They'll come back eventually, but it'd take a couple turns probably to build back up. Okay, and then the Ryujo. Let me remind myself what is in Truck. Truck has 6 naval units, so I think the Ryujo is going to do something a little different. I don't know if Japanese ships are he's or she's, but okay, we'll say it's a she's going to do something different. She's going to come down to Surabaya. Remember this place? All those battles that were happening down here? Well, waiting for the end of the turn for Chilayap to let these guys shrivel on the vine, so to speak. And honestly, I have enough resources right now, so just having them fester over there is fine by me. But I want to free up these guys, so I think the Ryujo is going to just come down here and join them in Surabaya. That basically puts some air projection around here, we already have some, but it lets this guy leave at a later time. Okay, so that was the Japanese offensive. Okay, allies, they have 2 cards left. I think they're going to use this one, which is pretty powerful Southeast Asia card. We got a bunch of infantry in position up there. This will give us 1 more unit in Southeast Asia. It's got a logistics value of 6. The headquarters has an efficiency of 1, so it'd be 7 units. Only Commonwealth and Chinese units and U.S. air units be activated. Yeah, that's fine. We're going to save this for next turn, so do something big in Southeast Asia next turn. So we're going to put that into the future offensives queue or something like that. Japanese, last card. Well, they certainly could use these Ox for an offensive, but it's 1942. They can decrease the war in Europe marker by 2. Let's do that. So here it is, drop them by 2. So level 1, which we were in, says UN reinforcements are delayed. US reinforcements are delayed, and they divert to Europe on a range of 0 to 1. Here it's the same thing, just the range is 0 to 3. So it's not that much better. I mean, a little bit, but when it gets down to this level, it's 0 to 5 and then 0 to 7. So, it's good. Last card play, allies. So we got this 1 ops card. I was considering playing it in Southeast Asia to move some troops forward. I can move 2 troops forward because this is a 1 op, and Southeast Asia Command has 1 efficiency. But I know I'm going to lose 1 U.S. political will because the carriers were sunk. So that takes us down to 6, which it doesn't sound too bad. It doesn't sound too bad, but I haven't played the game enough to know, am I later going to be wishing I took this U.S. political will point? I can take a point if Japanese control Manila, which they do, and then I can cull this card from the deck. Not that it matters, it's a huge deck. But yeah, so I'm going to do the point. So U.S. political will is rising from 7 to 8. Okay, it's now the political phase, the national status segment of that phase. Malaya was conquered. Singapore and Kuantan, both of those have to be conquered for Malaya to surrender. So I'm going to go ahead and mark Malaya surrendered in the turn 4 box. And in addition, U.S. political will, which you can kind of see out of the corner over here, goes down by 1 when Malaya surrenders. So I'm glad I increased political will. And one thing I thought would happen when they surrender is that Kotabaru would flip sides, but it doesn't. So I have to put some troops there to take it. So what I'm going to do, because I hate these markers, is I'm going to declare Malaya as Japanese. Flip this over to the allies. In fact, I think there's a little British marker. My OCD requires me to mark that British. And then we can take all these markers off. Oh, so much nicer. All right, cool. And technically, reducing the political will was during the U.S. political will segment, I believe. Which we'll just say we just finished. Time for the attrition segment. Wait a minute. Carriers. We'll put them on the turn track. The U.S. lost 3 carriers and had none on the map. Having 0 carriers on the map drops political will 1 more point, so we're at 5. Ooh. Yeah, that's bad. Okay, attrition phase. Okay, I've scoured the board, and the only place attrition is happening, which I'm very keen to check out, is Tilliyap. And so, both these units have to flip. They're out of supply because they're covered under zones of influence. Now, the fact that they're in range of a headquarters means they will not be destroyed the next time attrition happens. So if I want the Dutch East Indies to surrender, which now that I've read up a bit on U.S. political will, that would be good. I need to take Tilliyap because, or Chiliyap, I think that's how you say it. Because when the Dutch East Indies surrender, it's a -1 to U.S. political will. So that would be good. These guys are tough, though. Got 24 defense there. But I think the Japanese could figure it out. So, yeah, that's the attrition phase. End of turn phase. No one won the game. So, yeah, this was a long one. So, yeah, sorry about that. But catch you on the next episode, turn 5.